Thank you, and welcome to my new show, Humanity. I don't know why I called it that. I'm not a big fan. I prefer dogs, obviously. Dogs are better people than people, aren't they? They're amazing dogs. They're our best friends. They guard us. They guide us. There's medical detection dogs that can smell if you've got, like, AIDS. I'm not a doctor, but their noses are like 1,000 times more sensitive than ours. So they sort of go, "Poor, you're well HIV." Fuck, you know. And you go, "You can smell AIDS on someone." Yeah. Then why didn't you smell it on the bloke I brought home last night then, you fucking idiot? They did the first 3 billion years by themselves, evolution and all that. And then we got involved and we did a bit of selective breeding, you know, getting them how we wanted them to do jobs for us, you know, a bit more of that, a bit stronger, faster, whatever. And they're great at the jobs they're bred to do, and they love the job they're bred to do because they're genetically hardwired to love that behaviour anyway. Although the Rhodesian Ridgeback was bred to hunt lions, and I can't help but think that was a little bit of a shock to it when it found out. So we did all the breeding, all the different pedigrees, all thousands, all the miles around, a big passing out parade. There's a bloke in a square with a white coat and a clipboard, and he goes, "Right, dogs." And they all go, what? Who wants to know what jobs they've got? We all do. Right. Okay, Labradors. Yeah? Do you like carefully bringing back dead ducks? Yeah. That's your job. Amazing. That is amazing. That is my favourite job. That is my favourite job. Jack Russells. Yeah. Do you like shooting down rabbit holes after... Yeah. That's your job. Fucking hell. Best day ever. Best day ever. Miniature poodles. Yeah. Do you like being carried around by elderly homosexuals? Yeah. That's your job. That's your job. Ridgebacks. Yo. You're hunting lions. What? You're hunting lions. Fuck off. Yeah, you are. No, we're not. Lions? We get fucking mashed. Why can't the Rottweilers hunt lions? They're shaking babies. Good boy. Good boy, you shake that baby if you want. Good boy. Cheers. So yeah, this is my first new stand-up show for 7 years, if you don't count the Golden Globes. Which you shouldn't. The Golden Globes, very different. Oh God, different vibe. 200 million people watching around the world, and it's live, you know, big thrill. But with that many people watching, there comes a bit of stick. Everyone's different. Everyone's a blogger. Everyone goes, "I was offended." Oh. Why? He said an horrible thing. We said loads of horrible things. Yeah, but that was a thing that I care about. And that's the thing about offence, isn't it? It's about feelings, and feelings are personal. I don't care about the so-called backlash, you know, comedian in hot water. Ooh, you know. But my girlfriend Jane, she does worry a bit, and she reads things. Oh, why are they? What have you said? Why? I go, don't worry about it. They're not coming to the house. Fuck them. So I wind her up. I pretend I'm going to say much worse things than I ever would. You know, think of that. I have to make up worse jokes than I actually just to scare my girlfriend. So when I'm doing the Golden Globes, we go out about a week before. It's in LA. We fly out, right? And I'm writing jokes as the ceremony approaches. And, you know, they release sort of more presenters. And I take my pick. I go, "Oh, yeah, I've got a good intro for them. Yeah, I'll do. Yeah. Mel Gibson. Yeah, I'll introduce him. Yes." And about 3 days before this last one, right, just to wind Jane up, I said, "Oh, I've got a good intro." She went, "What?" I said, Bill Cosby would make our next presenter sleep on the couch. Please welcome Helen Mirren." I didn't do it. She went, "You're not going to do it?" I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Next day, I got her again. I said, "Is this too much then?" I said, "Not even Bill Cosby carries enough tranquilizer to bring down this next magnificent beast." Please welcome Melissa McCarthy. I didn't do it. I'd never tell a joke like that. It's horrible. I was just doing it to annoy Jane. I'd never even think of that. So don't... Even on the day, on the way to the red carpet, we're in the limo, just to wind her up, I said, oh, I'm going to start off with a funny little one-liner, just an old-fashioned joke. She went, oh, what? I said, what did the deaf, dumb and blind orphan get for Christmas? And Jane went, I don't know. I said, cancer. I didn't do it. So you're getting offended at a joke that doesn't exist. So I'd never say that in public. So to anyone who mattered. Anyway, so don't... As it was, I didn't have to worry about offending anyone because it just happened, so... And the big controversy last time I did it was a Caitlyn Jenner joke, right? Oh, outrage on Twitter the next day. And by outrage, I mean a couple of people going, it was transphobic. It wasn't transphobic in the slightest. It was a joke about a trans person, but the joke had nothing to do with that aspect of her existence. And that's the other thing about offence. People get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target, and they're not necessarily the same. I'll tell you the joke. You make your own minds up. Right. So... It's live, so they go, and now your host for the 68th Annual Golden Globe Awards, please welcome Ricky Gervais. They go, and they're all clapping, all the actors are looking up, smiling at me nervously. It's brilliant, right? So I just go, relax, I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously. And I go, now Caitlyn Jenner, of course, and what a year she's had, became a role model for trans people everywhere, bravely breaking down barriers and destroying stereotypes. She didn't do a lot for women drivers, right? So that's a clever joke, and I'll tell you why, right? It's layered. No, listen, right? The subject of that joke is stereotypes. I'm playing with the notion of stereotypes, right? So I start off saying, she's a real woman. Some would say a liberal, progressive attitude. Then I go, oh, if she's a real woman, I hit them with the old-fashioned reactionary stereotype. She must be a bad driver then, right? And the target of the joke is a celebrity killing someone in their car. Let's not forget that, shall we? A celebrity killing someone in their car, running home and popping on a dress. That's the target of the joke, just so we're clear, okay? She was interviewed about a week later at some press conference for a show she was launching, now cancelled. And the press were around and one of them said, what do you think of the Ricky Gervais joke? And she went, maybe I should host the Golden Globes, right? And they tweeted that, and they atted me in, because they want a celebrity feud, you know? It was clickbait, so I rose to the bait, obviously. I just sent back, let her host, just don't let her drive. Another website that was in the room, Entertainment Weekly, they tweeted a different headline, and they atted me in as well. And their headline was, Caitlyn finally breaks silence over Ricky Gervais. I just sent back, at last. She always breaks too late. Bring it on. Bring it on. But I'm a considered comedian. I like my jokes to be accurate and my targets to be fair. So I was engaging these people. I was saying, why is it transphobic? And they were saying, it's about a trans person. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying a joke about Bill Cosby is automatically racist. It depends on the joke. But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, you know, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name, and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlete. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, you know, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he probably, he's a big, but I've learnt my lesson. Now, I'd never dead name her now. Now I know it's wrong. I'd never dead name her now. But like years ago, when, you know, she was a man, that was years ago, I'm saying, right? And she went to the doctor, right? And knocked on the door, and the doctor went, "Come in." This is years ago. I'm saying, I'd never dead name her now, but this is like a flashback before anyone. Do you know what so, like, come in, and he went, "Hello, Bruce Jenner," because that was his name then. The doctor, you know, this was years ago, and the doctor went, "Oh, I'm Bruce Jenner, you big old, how you doing, boy, you fucker? How you doing? You big old lunt. Oh, how you doing, boy? Come here, you fucker. How you doing, Brucey boy? You all right? Right? And Bruce Jenner, because that was his name, this is years ago, right? So Bruce Jenner went, "Yeah, not too bad, doctor, yeah. Not too bad, right?" And I was like, "What can I do for you, Bruce?" "Yeah, fucker, how you doing, boy?" And Bruce Jenner went, because that was his name. Bruce Jenner went, "Look at that." And they went, "Oh, come on, Bruce Jenner, you know the rules." He uses his whole name every time for some reason, I don't know why. "Come on, Bruce Jenner, you fucker, you know the rules. You can't bring your big old pole vaulting pole in here, mate, you know." And Bruce Jenner went, "No, that's not my pole vaulting pole, that's my enormous penis." And I thought, "Oh, right, yeah, seeing as it is your penis, you can bring it in here, but you should have left your shot puts outside." And Bruce Jenner went, that was his name for 58 years, I think. He went, "No, they're not my shot puts, they're my enormous testicles. That's where I keep my testosterone and my spunk and shit," right? And the doctor went, "Oh, yeah, that makes perfect. I am a medical man, and that you're a big bloke." "Oh, you fucker. How you doing, boy? You're a big... You're big, and you would have a big old cock and balls. They're beautiful. They're a bit familiar." And I go, "No, but you must be very proud of them, Bruce." Bruce Jenner went, "Oh, this is going to surprise you, doctor. I want to get rid of them." And the doctor went, "What? Why?" "Ah, they get in the way." "Get in the way of what?" "Fucking driving, for one thing." So I'm engaging these people, and I'm saying, but I had to say her old name because that gets me into the joke. I say, "I've changed, not as much as Bruce Jenner," and then I do the actual joke. I went, "No, this is my second crime." I say, "She hasn't changed, right? She's always been a woman because she's always identified as a woman, and that means she's a woman. Fine, if that's the rules, you are what you feel. If you feel you're a woman, that makes you a woman. Cool. You know, I'm not one of these bigots that think having all that done is science going too far. You know, in fact, I don't think it's going far enough. Because I've always identified as a chimp, right? Well, I am a chimp. If I say I'm a chimp, I am a chimp, you know. Pre-op, but... and don't ever dead name me. Don't ever call me Ricky Gervais again. From now on, you call me Bobo. So I'm going to have species realignment. I'm halfway there, to be honest. I'm sort of short with short legs and long arms. I sort of stoop like that. My back's getting hairier by the day. I've got fangs. I love nuts. Oh, I love nuts. And once, I was at the zoo, and I could tell people were looking at me, so I just started masturbating. So, I am a chimp, right? I am a chimp, if I say I'm a chimp. And so, I've got to live as a chimp for a year, then have hormones, get me all nice and hairy. That'd be lovely, right? I'm going to stay a male chimp, so I can keep all that, right? A male, heterosexual chimp, keep the same girlfriend. Jane will be happy, she loves me, she loves chimps, so, you know. And I reckon that's got to be easier for a man to turn into a chimp. We're so close. Than for a man to turn into a woman in many ways. You know what I mean? A bit of hair and a top lip like that, as opposed to your cock and balls ripped off and a hole gouged out into... No, I'm not a doctor, but that is the gist of it. I know which one I'd rather have done. And I'm not saying I think chimps are better than women. No way. Right? Any ladies here, right? I can't see you, but to me, every single one of you is equal to a chimp. So I'm gonna have all that done. So hairy that, right? I'll do all that. I'll do all the. I retain the ability to speak English, like in emergencies. If I'm talking to Jane, I'm going, she's going, what is it? That's another thing. Kids would go, there's Michael Jackson, he's going away from us. He wasn't, he was going towards them. But people don't care, because he's so good. Right, he's so good. He's so popular as well. I think if he'd have lived to stand trial, he'd have beaten the rap because everyone loves him. And he'd be so vulnerable in court as well, wouldn't he? He'd be there like that. And the judge would go, Michael, did you fiddle all those kids? And he'd go, hee hee. Judge would go, cased it, get out of here, you scam. Go on. I promised you more about China, and this is an amazing statistic, okay? This is true, look it up, right? In China, there are 10 million Chinese paedophiles. 10 million Chinese paedophiles in China, and there's not enough kids. Because they've been restricting the birth. There's all these poor pedos, and they're going, where's all the fucking kids? You know, fuck me, we're having to double up here, and I just thought of a joke then, I can't do it. It is actually too offensive. Okay, all right, I'll do it. But remember, you can't choose your own thoughts, okay? And I just had this thought, right? Chinese paedophile. Goes up to a little Chinese kid, and he goes, do you want a puppy? And the kid goes, I'm not hungry. You made me do that. You committed the hate crime. I'm woke, I forgot. Let me get back on track, right. I've got a woke joke, right? You remember those jokes we used to have when we were kids, like doctor jokes, like, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. Well, pull yourself together then, right? I've done a woke version of that, brought it up to today's standards, right? So, bloke goes to the doctor, he goes, doctor, I keep thinking I'm a pair of curtains. And the doctor goes, well, you are then. Good than that, isn't it? I should do political stuff now I'm woke, but I don't like it when a comedian just spouts his own political views and it relies on the audience agreeing with him to get a round of applause. I think that loses something comedically. I want everyone to like my jokes, whatever your political persuasion. A joke shouldn't have a political wing, you know. I'm political in my private life, like everyone, you know. Like, I'm sometimes incensed by the inequalities in our society. We're in the 7th richest economy in the world, right? And there's homelessness. There's 250,000 homeless people in Britain. Now, I wish there were no homeless people, because they're fucking horrible. You know, oh yeah, right next to the fucking cash point, you cheeky cunt. It is a serious problem, and I hope none of you ever find yourself homeless, but if you do, my advice is heroin. Cheers you right up, apparently. I've got one of those mates. My mate said this to me in all seriousness. He said, but the thing about heroin, Rick, he said, some of the greatest albums of all time were created on heroin, weren't they? I went, yeah, but they were created by some of the greatest artists of all time, weren't they? You're a plasterer, right? If I were to give you heroin, you wouldn't come up with Dark Side of the Moon, would you? You'd fall asleep watching the telly and burn the fucking house down. I should do topical stuff, but I never watch the news. I did see one thing recently on YouTube, actually. Do you know the little fella from Game of Thrones? The actor, Peter Dinklage. Do you know Peter Dinklage? Yeah. He was at a junket, and it was for a new thing he was doing, right? And they were filming it. That's why it got leaked onto YouTube. And I don't know what brought it up, but he suddenly started going off on one. Someone, oh God. He was going, it's fucking disgusting. They're still doing productions of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. For Christ's sake, it's fucking demeaning. It's 2023. He wasn't happy. He was grumpy, wasn't he? He's got a point now, hasn't he? Obviously he's got a point. But the thing is, it's all right for him because he's a multi-millionaire Hollywood actor, and he's a great actor as well. He does Shakespeare and everything. A lot of dwarves in entertainment aren't that great. No, some of them are fucking... They're props, right? No, let's be... They're lucky to be fired from a fucking cannon, right? And so, dancing around Snow White for 3 weeks of the year, that is their like holy grail, and he's going to fuck it for them. If he takes that, what can they do? And he's not saying you should do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs with normal size actors. You can't do that either. You get in trouble for that in Hollywood, or you can't take a dwarf's job or a disabled person's job. Like Eddie Redmayne got in trouble when he played Stephen Hawking in the biopic, The Life Story of Stephen Hawking, right? Won an Oscar for it, and that's when the backlash started. People going, no, it should be played by a real disabled creature, all this... Right? And they're going, the actor should have the same disability as the person they're portraying. But it was the life story of Stephen Hawking, right? So for the first part of the film, the cunt could walk, right? So I put it to you, what is easier? Getting an actor who can walk, pretend he can't for the last bit of the film, or get an actor who can't walk, pretend he can for the first bit. How would that even fucking work? Puppetry, think. You can't always find an actor with the same disability as the person they're portraying. They're fucking actors. What if they did a biopic of Helen Keller, the deaf, dumb and blind girl? Well, what's the chances of finding a deaf, dumb and blind actress who can play that role? And if you did, you go right into the director and go, we found a deaf, dumb and blind girl. What did she say? She didn't even answer the fucking phone. Oh, don't get me started. Oh. Cultural appropriation. Have you heard of that? Cultural appropriation. The latest no-no. Now, again, in my day, it was considered a good thing to swap ideas with other cultures, with other nations, to share things with other races, to assimilate. It was the opposite of racist. Now it's racist. Gwen Stefani got in trouble in her last video because she had her blonde hair in dreadlocks. People go, no, black people invented dreadlocks, you can't have them, you're white, that's racist. Jamie Oliver got in trouble when he put out authentic jerk chicken recipe. People go, no, black people invented that, you can't have it, you're white, that's racist. Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that. That's the one, isn't it? That's the one. Listen, I know white people are the worst. I know that. That's why no one likes a fucking white middle-aged man anymore until we need a boiler fixing. Then it's get the bald bloke round now. Critical race theory, have you heard of that? Being taught in schools now, particularly in trendy areas like LA, right? Just like 5-year-old kids and 6-year-old kids. If you haven't heard it, in a nutshell, critical race theory says that all white people are racist. It says that we're born racist and we continue to be racist because we're affording the privilege of a racist society set up by our forefathers, okay? So basically, all white people are racist and there's nothing we can do about it, which is a relief. I think the world's going to get harder and harder to understand as I get older and more bewildered. A new dogma arises in the name of progress. Now, dogma is never progressive, however new and trendy, but I think soon I'll be outnumbered. And it was only this year that I ordered my first item off Amazon. All the way through the pandemic, Jane's like, bang, things are arriving, we need this, bang, it's here. Right? And I was going, oh, and she goes, it's easy. I go, I never liked real shopping either, hated real shopping, particularly clothes shopping. I hated clothes shopping when I was young and thin. I really hate it now I'm fat and old, right? Once, a shop assistant thought I had my inside leg and my waist measurement the wrong way round. I could see her thinking, do you have an orangutan, sir? No, it's for me, you cheeky. Yeah, I never like real shopping, but I don't trust the internet either. And Jen was going, just put in your credit card. I went, I don't want to have my credit card details. She went, everyone's got your credit card details, just put the number in. I went, what one? She went, the long one. She went, oh, fuck me, give it here. There, you're on. Order something. So I thought, oh, I don't want anything. Oh, tracksuit bottoms. You can't have too many. I wear mine till the bollocks fall out, right? So I put in men's tracksuit bottoms, black, zip pockets, about 38 different. Oh, fuck me, they look all right. Size chart. I go, well, they'll be a bit long, but they'll be a bit tight. I thought, $9.99. I thought, oh, fuck it, who cares, right? So I ordered them. They came the next day. I opened them up. They were shit. Now, I don't know what sweatshop they were made in or what little 8-year-old Chinese kid made them, but he should be fucking punished because they And I was looking at where to fucking complain to get him fired, right? And I found out that these kids only get $2 a day in these fucking places, right? But what happened to pride in your work? Do you know what I mean? And I can tell, some of you are thinking, oh yeah, but he didn't think Ricky Gervais would order them. Well, no, but maybe you should be told there's a chance that Ricky Gervais might order them. His owner should sit him down, right? And say, if Ricky Gervais orders these and complains, I'm going to rape your mummy again. What, is that too much? Sorry. No. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. You'll realise this is great satire when I'm dead. So, I don't know how humanity will end, as I say. There's a long list, everything from, I can't believe nuclear wars back on the table, after all we've learned. But I think maybe the rise of the pandemic where parasites and microbes and bacteria and our antibiotics fail, or maybe those things that happen, but we're sort of evolved through it. Like, we'll find out there's pockets of sort of mutant people around the world that are slightly resistant to radiation and slightly resistant to microbes, and we'll sort of start again. Because we don't really understand the mechanism of human evolution since civilization, because it's never been based on, you know, survival of the fittest, where fittest meant just the biggest, strongest male gets to pass on his genetic material. There's other paradigms, right? Nature is brutal. Sometimes it is the biggest, strongest male that gets the female, and even then, she has a litter. If there's a runt, she goes, fuck it, kill that, eat it, share it out amongst the rest of us. Now, we don't do that in human society. We go the other way. We spend more time and care and attention on the weak and the vulnerable to give them a chance. Like, if you're a father and you've got 2 kids, you've got little Timmy, who's 6, right? You've got Jack, who's 8, and you go to little Timmy, you go, Timmy, what do you want for Christmas? And he goes, motorised wheelchair. I promised Jane I wouldn't do the voice, and I fucking forgot. It's too late now, isn't it? What do you want for Christmas, Timmy? Motorised wheelchair. Right, well, they start at $2,000, so fucking hell. What do you want, Jack? Just a tennis racket, please, Dad. Oh, good lad. Oh. How is your tennis? Best in the school. Oh, you good. Also a ramp. Fuck me. What, so now we're doing fucking building work at Christmas, are we? Fuck me. Oh, sorry, Jack, can't afford your tennis racket. We've got to spend all the money on a ramp and a motorised wheelchair for this money-grabbing little fucking... Why do you need a motorised one? No arms. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. I can tell some of you feel a bit uncomfortable laughing at little Timmy, who's a little 6-year-old lad. He's got a funny little voice because his chest is all fucked. Got no arms, no legs, just like stumps, right? But let me tell you something about Timmy to make you feel better about yourselves. He's a fucking racist. Yes. Horrible little shit, he is. You little fucking bigot. You disgusting little fucking racist, you racist scum, you filthy little fucking, you fascist, you fucking, you disgust me. Homophobic? Yeah. He's like, they're not like us. Nothing's like you disgusting little fucking, you prejudiced little piece of, you ball of hate. You disgusting little fucking racist homophobe. I wish we'd had a scan. You absolute, misogynist. If he could, he'd rape. There's your little Timmy. Some people don't think we evolved in the first place. Some people think that God made us all at once in one fell swoop and by himself. I think if he'd had a wife or a mate, there'd have been questions when he was working, wouldn't they? Be like, what are you doing? Creating man. Oh, what's it got? What do you mean, what's it got? Has it got like claws and fangs and shit? No, not really, no. Oh. What is it, Bobo? You left the fucking oven on. There's a fire. What, are you telling me that if Caitlyn Jenner was being chased by a wolf, right, and there was a big fence, but she had a long pole, she'd revert, she'd be over that fucking easy. So, all that, doing all that, right? I'll be legally a chimp. I'll be properly chimped up, right? I'll be able to use chimp toilets and everything, right? And then I'll be walking along Hampstead High Street, holding Jane's hand. Come on, Bobo. Like that, right? We don't even hold hands now, so I don't know why she's suddenly all over me just because I'm a chimp, right? But we'll be all in love, maybe matching jumpers, something like that. Walking along, come on, Bobo, in love. Just two guys, And then if a bigot in a white van slows down and goes, that's fucking disgusting, I just fling shit at him and run up a tree. And that's why that joke isn't transphobic, so... Cheers. So humanity. What is humanity? What are we? Well, we've touched upon it there. We're great apes. Not metaphorically, we're literally great apes. We are 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee. We're closer to chimps than chimps are to gorillas. We left our common ancestor about 6 million years ago. We have the same life cycle. Same life cycle as any other animal, which is our parents mate, we're born, we grow, we mate, our parents die, all our friends die, and then we die. Now, my 7-year-old niece didn't like hearing that, right? But I said, you've got to look. I said, stop crying. I said, you're 7, you know, today. So... any more grizzling and this party's cancelled. So let's take the first of those, right? Birth. It's already an odd one for humanity because the human being is born before the end of its natural gestation period. And by that, I mean, because of our evolution, our brain is so big, we have to get that huge head out early. That's why the skull is in parts and supple, right? And then we have to carry on gestating outside the womb. That's why we're so useless. Compare us to other mammals, right? A giraffe is walking along, it goes, oh, I'm proper pregnant, right? I'm gonna have a baby giraffe right here, right? Yeah. There it is. See you later. Right? And the baby goes, Mum, can I get it's got to be fucking ready, right? We're helpless, right? Just think of that, right? 9 months, we're just growing in this perfect environment, just like that. Just everything's... It's like being in a little Kate Bush video, right? And then suddenly, and you're being squeezed out of an hole near an arse. You're covered in shit, they're screaming. You go, I can't breathe. Someone goes, yes, you fucking can, right? That's the first 1 second of life on Earth. You don't know where you are. You can't choose where you're born. I was born in a place called Whitley Estate in Reading, right? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have chosen that. I'd have chosen Hampstead. I did choose Hampstead. It just took me 45 years to be able to afford it, right? Very different, my upbringing, you know, to how I live now. I know I live a privileged life now. Hampstead, ridiculous. Oh, it's a rarefied place, right? It's just like the grandchildren of poets and painters and me, new money, right? But growing up, it was tough. I don't know what it's like now, but in my day, my estate was really sort of rough and scary. It felt like wildlife. I was weak and vulnerable, right? And there was danger around every corner. The school I went to was on my street, and I ran there every day so I didn't get mugged or molested. And there weren't a lot of paedophiles in Reading because the murderers had killed a lot of them, but there was still a couple, right? I moved to Hampstead. Oh, my God, it's no crime. I saw a knife once in Hampstead. It was a palette knife. Just a bloke just painting, oil painting, in the middle of the street, broad daylight. No one was gobbing on it or calling him Bender. It was weird, right? So I know my life has changed drastically, but it wasn't always like that. And the reason I'm telling you this, as a famous person, you sort of read about yourself, you know, gossip and, you know, Twitter and everything. And that one thing kept cropping up, even when I was preparing for this tour, people saying, oh, he's out of touch. He's so famous, he's rich, he's mega rich. I am. I could have this place burnt down for a laugh. No, but they say things like, oh, he's an observational comedian. How can he say things that relate to ordinary scum? And I say, don't call them scum, right? But even the papers, they try and get around to it. I do interviews and they'll always be able to say, oh, do you always fly first class? I go, no, often private. Right? And the number of times I've answered this question, right? They say, do you know how much a pint of milk is? It was meant to make you look out of touch, and I don't know, but that's irrelevant, right? Next time a journalist asks me that, I'm going to say, I don't know, mate, but here's £1,000. Run and get me one, will you? Is that enough? Is that enough? Yeah. Another question that I always get, particularly with the posh papers, the Sundays, they're doing a profile piece, and they're still trying to alienate you and make you look different, right? And they always say things like, no, you don't have children. I say, no. I say, why don't you have children? Which is a really odd question to ask someone, why don't you have children? As opposed to asking people, why do you have children, right? Let's ask the fat lady in the leggings why she's had 8, shall we? Oh, 9, that one just fell out. That one didn't even touch the sides or disturb a cigarette. That one just, boom. Don't claim for that. People say, oh, it's selfish to not have children. How can it be selfish to not bring a life into the world that doesn't exist on any level? It's not as a long sort of cabinet full of potential ghost fetuses going, we want to be born, right? But I've thought about it, and there's 3 reasons I don't have children, okay? 3 main reasons I don't have children, and I'll share them with you. Okay, here they go. 3 reasons, right? 1, there's millions. The world's overpopulated. No one's sitting around going, oh, Rick's not having kids, we're going to run out. 2, kids are scroungers, aren't they? I mean, from day one, it's all me, isn't it? Feed me, clothe me, pay for my chemotherapy. Not my problem, son. Not mine. Luck of the draw, boy. Luck of the draw. It costs the average household in the West $200,000 to bring up a child, right? And you don't see that back. They don't want to pay you back. They're not grateful. They don't go, oh, thanks for having me every day. They go, I didn't want to be born, right? Even if they get a top job, right, which they won't, okay? You'll never see that money back, right? They just put you in a home, okay? And my kid, he'd be born into ridiculous wealth, wouldn't he? So, he'd be a little cunt. A little Hampstead cunt. Running around with all the other fucking little Hampstead cunts. Being all Hampstead and cunty. I'm a little Hampstead cunt. Yes, I know, yeah. These are my little cunty friends. Yeah, I know, it's obvious. I can tell from your little fucking cunty hats that you're little Hampstead cunts, you little posh Hampstead. And on the one hand, he'd know he was a little fucking Hampstead cunt. I'm a little Hampstead cunt. Yes, we know, everyone knows, right? He'd know that, right? And on the other hand, he'd know that he could never live up to being as brilliant as his dad, right? I'd say, you know, I worked my way up from nothing and I gave it to you and you're just a little useless Hampstead cunt. You'd go, yeah, and that would probably prey on his little mind a bit, wouldn't it? Like 11, 12, he'd sort of be a naughty boy, run with the wrong crowd, try and get out from under my shadow, right? And then he'd turn to drugs, and about 13, he'd come home and he'd overdose on my Afghan rug. 20 grand, that was, right? And as he was there, right, convulsing and throwing up his fucking lungs, right, and with his little posh, high-pitched fucking death rattle, right? in little fucking dying words, he'd go, "Do you love me now, Daddy?" No. No, I never did, and that's why you're never going to be born, you useless fucking junkie Hampstead cunt. And 3, I'd worry sick about him. No, I would. I've only got a cat at the moment, and I worry sick about her. I check the door 3 times when I go out, so, you know, she doesn't escape. I put food and water in every room in case the door's shut and she's peckish for 20 minutes. Right? A human baby, oh my God, the responsibility of a human life. I'd watch it sleep. You know, we've said how weak and vulnerable they are. It's like, oh my God, you perfect little thing. You, oh, flesh of my flesh. Go to sleep in your expensive cot. Oh, night, night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs. Oh, dead. Yeah. Just... Why? Why is it dead? It's just fucking dead, look. Fuck's sake. Fucking hell. What a fucking waste of time that was. Fuck's sake. Embarrassing. Jane? What? Come here. I'm in the shower. Come here. What? Fucking dead already. I just fucking hell, Jane. You call that a baby? That is... If Jane was out, I'd have to text her, wouldn't I? What? You just... Baby's dead. She'd come back, whoop, what the fuck? I go, yep. Forget the Pampers, lol. No, but even if it made it through the terrifying cot years, right? And then it was a toddler running around head height to my antique tables with their sharp edges. I have to pad them so it didn't run into it and fucking cave its head in and die. And then the social services come round, they say, "Is this your child, Miss Gervais?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "What happened here then?" I go, "It's a fucking idiot." I did think of adopting for a while, a little third world child, because that would tick all 3 boxes, wouldn't it? You know? You think of it like, 1, right? I wouldn't be adding to the population problem. I'd be alleviating an existing problem. A young kid born through no fault of his own into abject poverty. He would have died without me. I can literally save his life and give him a great upbringing, right? 2, he would be grateful, wouldn't he? He'd want to pay me back, wouldn't he? Particularly if I let him know that all the other kids in the village, they weren't so lucky. They didn't make it out. All right? I'd tell him that early on, so he really bucked his ideas up, right? I'd go, "Tundi, come here. Come here. Yeah. Go and pop a shirt on. You're not in Africa now, mate." Yeah. That's better. Yeah. Tundi, yeah. Water straight out of a tap, innit? Yes. Yeah. No, it's not free. It's Hampstead. There's a little, you know, but... Yeah, of course it's safe. Safe, fresh drinking water. Have as much as you want. Have a bucket full. Straight out of a tap. Fresh drinking water. There you go. Go and clean the car. Go on. No, I'd go, look, do you remember your friends in the village back in Africa? Yeah, they're all dead. Because a rich man didn't save them and bring them to Hampstead, so... Do you want to pay me back? Yeah, I bet you do, right? And the good thing about them is they can start work when they're about 6. I just call up Nike and I go, "Do you still make your stuff in sweatshops? Got a great little worker here. Yeah. £1 a day's fine. He's got to start somewhere. Yeah, brilliant, right?" And 3, if he ran round and caved his head in and died, and the social services came round and said, is this your child, Miss Gervais? I'd go, does it look like mine? I'd go, this is Hampstead, it's obviously broken in, mate.